According to the 2016 census, Cincinnati ranks as one of the top cities where veterans live. And many of our returning veterans suffer from traumatic brain injury, or TBI, but they're not getting the care that they need. Dr. Chrisanne Gordon hopes to change all of that. Her book, Turn the Lights On, examines her struggles with a traumatic brain injury. And Dr. Gordon joins us now to talk about the book. And thanks so much for coming in to talk about this very important subject. Now, you suffered a traumatic brain injury when you were moving something in your home, and you literally hit a brick wall.
Correct. I really did. I hit the top of my head, pushing some things underneath the crawl space. And what happened to me at that moment is I became unconscious very quickly. I found that getting out of traumatic brain injury as a patient is much different than we thought as physicians. So I wrote this book primarily to see it kind of from the inside out, and hopefully to revolutionize some of the way that we treat our young individuals with TBI.
Yeah, one of the things I've taken away from what I've been able to read so far is that people will look at victims of TBI, and because they may not manifest outward signs, don't really understand what's going on inside the body. Is that correct?
That's absolutely true, which is one of the reasons why they are not getting as much care. And particularly if we're talking our military members, of which there are about 17,000 in Ohio alone who have TBI. You know, they don't want to show anything. You know, so that's why I'm so thankful to have me on, because I thought if they read this, many of them have said, well, you know, if a doctor went through all of this and you got out of it, you know, maybe we can too.
And because you are a doctor and you went through it, you were able to explain exactly what was going on during your recovery, the things that happened to you that you will never recover, and that sort of thing. Now, do you think being a doctor helped you to explain that in ways that other people may not have been able to?
You know, I think it did, but I give the biggest credit to my veterans. You know, when I began evaluating the young men and women who come back from Iraq and Afghanistan, they taught me their story as well. I think the biggest thing was when I told them that I didn't like being around crowds either. These bright lights are really hard on me even today, you know. And one of the first young man I ever saw at the VA grabbed my hand and said, "So doc, you mean I'm not crazy?"
Yeah.
You are not crazy. So we want to tell them all they're out of their brains, not out of their minds. The Cincinnati VA has one of the top evaluators and treaters of TBI and PTSD, and Dr. Kathleen Shard. So for all of your people in the listening audience, parents, brothers, sisters, veterans, please get your VA appointment, particularly if you served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and get started in the system, because this is one of the best here.
Now, what is it, or maybe the top couple of points you want people to take away from your experience and your being able to talk about your recovery and that sort of thing? What is it that you want people to think about?
Very good. The first thing is, if you have difficulties with cognition, if you had trouble in either training, if you're an athlete, you had a concussion, do pay attention to your body and go seek help, because your brain acts like a computer. You're going to need some help in order to lay down the new pathways, in order to let the brain heal again. And don't think that you can be all macho and get yourself out of it, because I thought I was pretty macho too, and I could not get out on my own.
All right. For someone who has an interest in the book, where would be the best place to get it?
Best place is probably Amazon. It's also on our website. I have a foundation for veterans with TBI, resurrectinglives.org.
Dr. Gordon, thanks so much for coming and talking about this very important issue.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It is 9:21 now. Let's check in with Tara. She has a look at